basically, we wanted to record this as a part 2 from episode 10, as a debrief, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was a heavy it's a really
And
heavy...
it ended really abruptly because we only get 44 minutes and 45 minutes.
I think it's exactly...
And it just ends.
I know, and it just cuts us off. And, like, I don't know... it's annoying, which means that we can be... Because we've had a drink, we can be, like, in the flow of a conversation that could take us, like, 3 hours, and then we're like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to use this as, like, a part 2... to sort of process some of the stuff we were talking about and then move on. So debriefing is always a good idea. You know, some of you that have been to therapy or work in counselling or psychology or even social work should be using a debrief technique, which is that when you've talked about something really heavy for a little bit, that, you know, you need to let your brain and your body come down from that and to sort of check in with yourself. How has that made you just feel? And was there any bits of it that triggered you? Was there any bits of that made you very uncomfortable? Was there any bits of that dug shit up for you? And then and then move on to something else that grounds you back in the here and now, and forces you to, I don't know, focus on something that's a lot less scary and you know, hard. So maybe if you don't mind, we could do that. And then we could show them how it works. So we talked about loads of things, like we talked about suicide, we talked about psychiatry, we talked about, you know, almost like the reframing of women as mentally ill when they're not. We talked about sexual abuse and rape, and there's just so much.
Talked about racism, ableism.
Yeah.
Dignitas.
Was there any of it for you that was particularly difficult?
Yeah, the Dignitas bit is really difficult.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. That was, I fundamentally disagree with that decision, and I feel like they just let her die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
hard.
I don't know. It's really difficult. I think I don't know. We're never going to know what she was subjected to and how horrible it was, and what counselling she'd already done, what medications she'd already tried. But she was young.
She was very young. She was in her early 20s.
Yeah.
I think it's a failing of our institutions and our systems that she got to the point where she felt like that was her only option, and then 3 qualified professionals went, yeah, I agree. That's yeah.
That was hard for me, like, to sort of even think about.
Yeah. It's not, I guess it's one of, I remember reading the article and thinking that in all the years that I had read about Dignitas and stuff, I had never considered that it could be used like that. You know, when you think about assisted suicide and euthanasia, you always think of, you know, people who are very, very, very ill and they've had enough, or people who are old and they've made a choice, or someone with a degenerative illness or disorder where they've decided they don't want to get beyond a certain point. It's not necessarily that you ever consider that could be somebody who is in mental distress, who is traumatized by something to the point where they actually don't want to be alive. So it's a very difficult discussion.
Yeah.
I think it's an important and useful discussion. I think that we should be having, you know how I feel about freedom of speech, and I know that you feel the same way. I think the discussions that are scary and triggering and difficult to have, I don't believe that that's enough to not have that discussion.
No, I agree. They still need to be had. But also it's important to make sure that everybody's okay still.
Yeah. So we both hope.
We're doing this.
Yeah. So we both hope that you're all right. We just recognised while we were talking and drinking that one was just particularly heavy.
Yeah.
It is a really difficult topic, and you know, I think part of why it's so difficult is because the belief systems around mental health and psychiatry are so powerful and so what's the word? Oh my god, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but they're kind of like a cult, to the point where if you question it,
like that,
you're
though,
seen as like.
But if you question it, it feels like a personal attack on people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh my god, I thought this was the answer to all of my problems, and now you're telling me it's not. No, I am not like gonna break. Like I'm not gonna accept what you're saying. And people would rather take it as an attack and have no one speak about it. It's like, if we don't speak about it, then no one. If we don't challenge it, then it's okay.
I've seen posts about me saying that because I'm critical of psychiatry and mental health, it must mean that I'm essentially critical of people with mental health issues, which is they're just not the same thing at all. Like, I think you can be critical of a system and an institution without being like, it's not about the individual.
No, yeah, exactly. But also, most people who know you know what you've been through. Like, you don't even have to know you, and people are already aware. Like, where I've seen those comments, I am making an active decision not to read them anymore about you, but people will literally be like, she literally was trafficked and raped. I don't think that she feels like that.
Yeah.
And when you've been through things like that, your mental health deteriorates, and you can see it when it happens to other people who've been through things similar to you.
Yeah.
Because similar things happen.
I think you're right, though. I think one of the things that I often say to people when I'm teaching, or if I'm talking at all about psychiatry and mental health, is that UK statistics suggest that 1 in 3 adults are on antidepressants or have been on antidepressants in the UK.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Millions and millions of people are put on antidepressants every year, right?
That's because we're all working ridiculous amount of hours and
but
never knowing if we're going to get to pay our mortgage.
But the reason that I bring that up is because what happens then is that when you have very critical discussions around the evidence base, you will trigger a lot of people,
for sure,
because they have gone to their GPs and been told that they are mentally ill, they have a mental health issue that requires medication.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got someone like me going, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think that there might be something in your environment or in your life or in your job or in your relationship or in your childhood or something that is traumatizing you and you are struggling to cope.
Yeah.
So on that basis, I mean, years ago, I'm trying to think when it was now, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I was teaching social workers about this very topic, and I've been asked to go in and do this critical work. Mm-hmm. And I've done this whole 3 days I spent with them working around proper trauma-informed work and the rejection of, labelling and psychiatry and diagnostic models and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
a woman came up to me at the end, really angry and upset with me, quite young, I'd say sort of below 30. And she said to me, I've listened to you for these 3 days, and I honestly couldn't disagree with you more about anything that you've said. And I was like, right, okay. And I was like, well, they're very contentious topics, so I don't expect you to agree with me on everything. And she said, well, I just completely disagree with you. Some people are just mentally ill, and there's nothing anybody can do for them. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with you. And then she was so angry and upset with me. I thought, I know this is personal, but I'm not going to ask you because there's like bloody 30 odd people there. I can't get into like a private, discussion with her. Anyway, she then she disclosed in front of like loads of people. So I was trying to like keep an eye on her really, because it was, it is dangerous to do that. Just because you're surrounded by professionals doesn't mean that they're nice people.
Yeah.
And she was basically saying that her mum had had mental health issues her whole life, and then had become suicidal, and then had killed herself. And in the run up to that, the doctors kept telling her daughter, her adult daughter, that there was nothing anyone could do for her, and that she was just like suicidal for no reason. and that all they could do was just keep putting her on more and more stronger and stronger medication. And she was saying to me, there was nothing anyone could have done for my mum, and she wanted to die, and there was nothing wrong with her. There's nothing that had ever happened to her. She just wanted to die for no reason. And I just remember thinking, I can't get into this with you because it's your mum. I can't have this personal conversation with you. I don't know enough about this case. I don't know anything about your mum. Doctors claiming that there's nothing they can do for someone is lazy as far as I'm concerned. And the reason that my training and my courses had triggered us so much was probably because I was stood there for 3 days saying, no, we have a responsibility to do something. And
but
there is
also,
something
it's
we could
really
have done.
important that you did that with her, because otherwise she could pass that on to other people who she was, case holding. She could have been
to be honest with you, the way she sounded in those 3 days suggests that she already does that.
Yeah, and be like, there's nothing we can do for you.
No.
No, that's... And this is why it's important to challenge these things. Because, yeah, it's awful that happened to her mum. But I'm not going to validate it to make her feel better. And that's awful.
I know, and that's the hard bit, is that sometimes people want you to validate a narrative or a belief system that is dominant in society, even when it's oppressive or it harms people. And then when you don't validate it for them, they will become upset with you.
And the thing is, they become upset so easily because it's so easy to pick apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's it's just so
and
many
that's why it
flaws in the
triggers people
system.
so much.
Yeah.
Okay, do you feel like we can sort of move on to something a bit nicer?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's worth us...
Have you got any other good resources or anything that people can go to?
That's a really good idea. Okay, so...
Drop the disorder.
Yeah, drop the disorder.
Or they're sometimes known as a disorder for everyone.
Yeah.
At Twitter it's at AD4E.
Yeah. If you're interested in anything that we've spoken about today and it's left you with a ton of questions or you want more information, Mad in America and Mad in the UK are excellent resources. They're both websites, and there's also Twitter accounts alongside Drop the Disorder. Books, the Power Threat Meaning Framework by Lucy Johnston and her colleagues. She's a clinical psychologist who has developed, with others, including survivors of the psychiatric system, a completely different way of working called the Power Threat Meaning Framework that the British Psychological Society has accepted as a way of working that is, a completely different way of working away from psychiatry, essentially.
Yeah, I just wanted, whilst we're on it, what I more meant was the Samaritan's Helpline. Did you know that if you Google Samaritan's Helpline, it comes up with the number local to you? So it just came up with our village and town, and then came up with the local number.
Really?
Yeah. Is that correct? Available 24 hours a day, so 116 123, and you can phone them.
You can also email Samaritans anonymously. It's called Joe. You can email Joe. It's basically a pseudonym, but it's a completely confidential email system where you can talk to the Samaritans about all the things going through your head, but you don't have to talk on the phone, because some people do struggle with that, and you can email them and they email back.
Yeah.
Because I used them loads of times when I was younger.
Yeah.
They were good. Other resources that I'm thinking of. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've missed. I think I would, if you're looking for true trauma-informed stuff, it is few and far between at the moment, because a lot of trauma-informed stuff is dressed up as trauma-informed, but it's still psychiatric in nature.
Yeah, so... trauma-informed isn't as simple as being informed of your trauma.
Yeah, I know. We'll try and do more about this, and Victim Focus is working on stuff as well. We are gonna try and solve some of these gaps as soon as we can. They are important. We have resources around trauma-informed stuff if you're a professional listening to this as well. Okay, I think you're right though. I think we've done enough.
Free course as well for survivors of sexual violence is on your Facebook. Yeah. If you go onto the Facebook page, Dr. Jessica Taylor.
Nope.
Dr. Jess Taylor.
It's at Jessica Friend Psych.
No, Facebook.
Yeah, that's the handle on Facebook.
Oh, but if you search
if you put
it,
Dr. Jessica Taylor in
it comes up.
Yeah.
And then the pinned post is an entire free course of like counselling and therapy. If you've been subjected to like any form of sexual violence, and it is an excellent course.
Yeah, we've had like 50,000 people take it.
You've had more than that, Jess.
Probably more.
You've had way more than that now. So I just wanted to mention that, just, you know, in case anybody's been struggling.
Yeah, that was a good idea. We're hoping to release some more free stuff soon. We've been working on another free course that we'll release in the next month or so.
Yep, I'm super excited about that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's move on and let's focus now on calming down and talking about something that is less heavy. And me and Jamie wondered if you wanted to hear about the adventures of the dogs. Because, frankly, having a puppy with Castro has been very, very tiring.
I feel like Castro needs a glass of wine.
Honestly, when Castro comes up here to go sleep, I think she thinks, thank fuck for that.
Mm. However, it was very funny the other week. Well, no, it was last week, wasn't it? When we went for a walk around that place with the statue. A male statue. Even my dogs can recognise a statue that's male.
Yes.
And they just both fucking barked at it.
Yeah, I ended up videoing them because
we
were obviously walking along and the dogs were absolutely fine. And we were chatting and then suddenly both dogs growled and barked. And we thought, oh my God, what is it? And then we were like, oh. And then they were just kicking off at a statue of a guy. And they were so angry at this statue. They were properly trying to protect me and Jamie from the statue. Yeah. And we had to try and calm them down and explain to them that it was a statue and get them to go up to it and realise that it wasn't a real man. Yeah, but they were not happy about that. And it was so interesting because Carlo doesn't normally... Carlo loves everybody, doesn't she?
She does.
But she was not happy about... Although, the last few weeks... So, she's now... was she 16 weeks old yesterday?
Yes, she was.
Oh, my gosh. So, she's 16 weeks old yesterday. Yeah. She's generally everybody's best friend. Anybody that comes to the door.
Best.
Whereas Castro is a guard dog.
Yeah.
She very much is, and nobody is allowed near the house, or no one's allowed to drive past the house in a car. She gets upset about that. Yep. And if you walk past the house on the pavement, she gets upset about that. Mm-hmm. And considering we're in the new house now, where the house is nowhere near the fucking pavement, because of how big the drive is, and she's like eagle eye. She sits there and she's like, right, it's a... Yeah, she's like, yeah,
she's not as bad though.
No, she isn't anywhere near as bad as she was. Oh, the old house, God. But yeah, she so if you've got Castro who's constantly on guard, and then you've got Carlo who couldn't give a shit that Castro was on guard. Castro can be barking at, I don't know, the postman or the gardener or someone that's come round, and Castro can be going mad, and Carlo yeah, I love them. Yeah, I'm licking them. I'm going to jump all over them.
Cute.
And Castro's in the background growling and barking, and Carlo's like, yeah, people.
And the gardeners fell in love with her, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. The gardeners were like, oh my God, we love it. They were trying to do their job, and Carlo had a brilliant day because they were here all day, because we bought the house in September, didn't move in until December. The gardens around the house had not been looked after since the midsummer. So, you don't really have gardeners in the winter. We've waited, and then we've got the gardeners in to sort out, because me and Jamie don't have the time to skill all the equipment to do these gardens. They're massive.
Also, it actually was worked out cheaper was paying a gardener than buying our own equipment.
Oh my God, yes. I had that conversation with him.
Yeah.
I said to him, with his fees and with the team and everything, I couldn't, and the amount of work that they've done and how amazing they have done it. And I was saying to him, I would have needed, a petrol mower, petrol strimmer, and then you would have wanted hedge cutters, and
we would have needed all the protective equipment as well,
yeah, and all the stuff and then the fact that we've got no fucking skill,
yeah,
either.
Also that. And it would have taken us so much longer.
Would have taken weeks.
Than what it takes them to do it.
I know, and they knew what they were doing as well. Like, they've done stuff to the garden that I didn't know was a thing. Like, at all. I was really impressed with them. But anyway, they're lovely and they've done a great job. But
and they love the dogs. They love Castro, even though Castro's a prick to him.
Yeah. At one point, I actually gave the gardeners a handful of treats so that they could try and bribe Castro to stop barking at them. On the other hand, Carlo spent 6 hours following the gardeners around, having a brilliant time, and just wagging a tail and sitting and watching them garden.
She's adorable.
And then jumping all over them for a fuss.
Yeah.
So she had a great time, and it knackered her out, and she had a big sleep afterwards because she'd had a whole day of playing in the garden with the gardeners whilst the gardeners were trying to do their job.
Yeah.
We are, I would say, doing okay at toilet training, house training, the pup. What would you say
I think
to that?
we're doing well. I do think we're doing well.
Yeah.
The vast majority of her toilets are outside.
Yeah, they are.
She just has like one accident a day inside.
Yeah, she has just like 6 accidents a day inside.
No, she doesn't. It's not.
Oh my God! I have a story to tell you.
Go on.
Not you. You know the story because you were there.
Oh.
I just
to
thought.
The clitorati.
Yeah. Carlo shit on me.
What?
What do you mean, what? Don't you remember the drama when she shit on me?
In bed.
Yeah, she shit on me in my bed, yeah. So
she didn't, she shit on the covers.
That I was under in bed. She ran up here, which we generally don't have her in the bedrooms yet because she's not fucking house trained.
And also, she sees the bedroom as somewhere to play.
Yeah, she does think the bedroom is brilliant. Like
the first few
wacky
nights,
warehouse
we
for
tried
puppies.
to have her in our bedroom in her crate, and she was having fucking none of it. We didn't sleep for about a week.
I had my eye twitched for a fortnight.
It was worse than having a baby because she's so agile at like 8 weeks old. She was like...
And heavy.
And like a liability to herself.
Yeah, it was so bad. But so like, she's crate trained now and she's absolutely fine. And she loves her crate. She's got like all the blankets in there and all toys, and she eats in there and she sleeps in there at night. But other than that, she generally mills around the house and around the kitchen, in the garden and stuff. But she ran upstairs to see me and was like,
because it was Mother's Day and she'd got you a card.
Yeah, she shit on me on Mother's Day. This story just gets worse. So I was in bed. Jamie had gone down to get me a drink and whatever, because you just woke up, hadn't you? And you'd gone down to see Carlo and grab us a drink. And I was in bed, like half asleep, if not asleep. And then Carlo, oh my God, she's so big and so heavy that like when Castro walks around the house, all you hear is, and that's her little like doggy nails on the floor. That's all you can hear. Right, Carlo running around the house. He's like having oh my God, it's like having a horse that lives in the house and just fucking rampages round.
She's so massive, and she like just grows exponentially.
Yeah, and the reason that you can see that is because Castro is obviously not growing because she's an adult, fully grown pomchi, so she's not going to grow. And then all of a sudden, you go from being like, oh, Carlo's nearly as big as Castro, and now we've got to the point where Carlo likes to play this game where she can fully stand above and like
also,
on Castro.
Likes that game.
Castro fits under her like she's going under a bridge.
Like Russian dolls.
Yeah.
If you imagine Russian dolls but dogs, that's what it looks like.
So like she's just massive. She's so much. Okay. Sorry, we had to pause it a second because you're munching as well. We had to pause it because Jamie needed a toilet, which is fine. And we've obviously had a drink, and now she's munching pretzels as well.
Is there any more pretzels left?
Yeah, but you're not munching. No, you're not munching.
No, let them hear.
Let them hear. They don't need sound effects.
They do. Let them hear.
They don't. Do you want me to tell you why? Do you want me to tell you why? Because they know what it sounds like to eat.
Pass me one.
I love. Right. Does anybody else love Penn State pretzels? Just the best.
I only like them sometimes, like when I've had a couple of drinks. I've only actually had one glass of wine. Looking for the one with the most salt on it.
No, because the one with the most salt on it is mine.
Is it?
For sure, because I brought the pretzels up, so I own them.
Oh. I think you need to talk to Karl Marx about owning. Oh, you just got owned. Wait, listen.
That is so weird. Don't do that into the mic. Oh my god.
Right. So I actually like to suck pretzels first.
Oh my shitting god. I hope you're enjoying this debrief, everyone.
And I actually, just in the last year or so, I've actually really got into, like, salt. I used to hate salt. But now I'm picking the salt.
I've got really
pretzel.
into salt. Sorry, that's killed me.
Why?
Because, like, of all the things, like, we've been in lockdown for a year and everyone else got really into, like, gardening.
Learning languages.
Jamie going to salt. Sorry, I'm done. Oh, fucking hell. So, tell us about salt, anyway.
I don't actually know a lot about it. I've been into it for a year.
She's a noob. She's new to the salt scene.
It's just pretzels are really nice to suck.
Oh my god.
And then they go nice and soft.
This is because you wouldn't believe the amount of times I've told Jamie that if you put a tiny bit of, like, a rock salt or whatever on chicken or on chicken sandwiches, it really brings the flavour out of it. And she's like, I'm not putting salt on it. And then the other day she was like...
No, but I've not eaten chicken for long because I was vegetarian.
And then you
I've
put
only
a,
recently
but then you
not
put a
been.
bit of
I am
salt.
going back.
You put a bit of, but you put a bit of salt in it, didn't you? It was dead nice. Yeah.
Yeah, just put salt on sandwiches.
No, I don't. Only chicken.
Alright, okay.
Only chicken.
Will you put it on a ham sandwich?
No, ham's salty.
I don't know. An unsalted ham sandwich.
Who the fuck buys unsalted ham?
I don't know.
I thought the way that they cook it and preserve it is with salt.
I don't know. I'm not a ham specialist.
No, you're a salt specialist.
I'm not. That's the whole point.
No. Anyway,
Should we talk about the fact we're getting married? What?
We've got to now.
You not say no?
Yeah, no. I think we should move on and talk about something else.
Well, we said we are going to talk about it on a whole podcast, but not. Well, we might as well fucking do it now. This is going to be an entire podcast by the sound of this.
No, it's supposed to be a debrief, but now what you've got instead is us debating whether to talk about our wedding and Jamie eating. Will you fuck off eating my pretzels? I'm going to have none left.
Let me just have one more.
And the fact that she's eating them into the mic, I think you should tweet her. I think you should tweet her and tell her how inconsiderate she is. Are you whispering things into the mic?
No. I've literally, this is my third pretzel.
Oh, that looks like a good one.
She's got my salty pretzel. You knocked the salt off it.
No, I didn't.
You have, there was so much more salt on that as if you just took that away from me. I'm actually really hurt.
What do you mean? Hang on a minute. I
I
wasn't.
can't control how high my voice is.
Listen.
I actually can't control it.
Give me that fucking pretzel now. Listen, it's
No.
not. It's not me.
Sweaty.
It's not me
Feel
taking.
sweaty,
It's not me taking the pretzel away from you. It's me taking it back because it's mine.
One sec. But we bought these pretzels together.
Did we indeed?
Yeah.
You never even eat pretzels.
I ate this one. I just like picking the salt off. I'm just having it in my mouth.
Look at little Castro. She's asleep at the end of the bed.
Anyway, 2 weddings.
Having to deal with our shenanigans.
2 weddings.
Probably wondering why I've not given her a pretzel.
She's asleep.
She's not.
2 weddings and the funeral of the patriarchy.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's what we should call it. We are having 2 weddings. Oh my god. Maybe none, if she carries on.
I forgot that we were on a podcast. Carry on.
Really?
Yes. This is a great debrief. If they're not happy by the end of this podcast, then they
don't-
need to come round for a glass of jam shed.
I know, that's so true. Yeah, we have. I don't want to get into detail too much.
No, but we're having
2 weddings because we're extra as fuck. So we're having 1 wedding in 8 weeks.
Yep, something like that.
And we are having our big ass country mansion wedding next summer.
It's because we have to like legally get married in the registry office first because we're lesbian.
Well, you kind of, in lots of cases you have to anyway, but me and Jamie we had a couple of experiences during lockdown where we were not taken seriously as a couple in like an emergency situation or in a formal situation because we weren't married or we were not perceived to be in a relationship at all. And it really shook us up. So one of them was that I had to go to hospital. I was referred to A&E. And it turned out that I was okay, but like anything, you know, in any situation, you don't know whether you're okay or not. And they were, we'd gone up to them, to the receptionist, and it didn't matter how many times I said that Jamie was my partner. She kept deliberately referring to her as a family member. And I was like, oh, you know, my partner, like, this is my partner. And she was like, well, your family member will have to wait outside. And I was like, what? Like, why are you deliberately... It was so weird. It was like she was deliberately refusing to call Jamie my partner, even though I was saying that in every other sentence when we were discussing it. And that was really bad. And then she said that Jamie was not allowed to stay with me at all because of COVID rules, which is fine, except for then I was sat on my own, freaking the fuck out. Jamie had to go back to the car, and then they were letting married couples stay together, and they were asking like, oh, is this your wife? Oh, yeah, just go and sit over there then, you know. And I was like, what the fuck?
And there was loads of space in there.
Oh, there was a fuck ton.
You were in the red zone, which was like really serious, weren't you?
Yeah.
Because they thought that you had a blood clot or something.
So like I was left on my own, with a suspected blood clot, whilst other married heterosexual couples were allowed to sit together and stay together, and I was fucking seething. So
I was crying in the car.
Yeah, so
I was just in tears for like ages.
I know Jamie didn't tell me that though, did you, baby?
No, of course I didn't.
No. But yeah, so we had that experience, and then we started to have these sort of discussions about maybe we should think about our legal status a bit more. Like, yes, we own a house together, but it was more that there was something about the fact that we were married that meant that in that situation they couldn't have given a shit whether we were together or not.
And when we say wife, people do treat us like we are actually together.
Yes, it's so interesting where if you deliberately say, oh, this is my wife, there is a very, I don't really know what that's about, and I've only tested it once or twice, and it is very interesting how that is in. I don't really know what it is, but I don't know. Maybe it's that two women being together, especially when you're young, and what people perceive to be femme or feminine presenting, is that they just do not see that as a serious relationship at all.
Yeah.
And then if you see that, if they think you're married, then they're like, oh, it must be serious then.
Yeah, exactly. Which
is homophobic as fuck, but never mind. So it's quite a practical decision. It's a personal decision that we have decided to get married earlier than our actual wedding. I know. So we have our big wedding next summer, and we already booked that anyway. And it's in a big, beautiful country house, and we're hiring it for like 3 days, and we're really excited about that, and we're going to do that the way we want to do it, and that's going to be lovely, and that's going to still go ahead, but we have decided to, you know, formally get married and have a tiny little celebration with people who we're very close to. And we're going to do that in May.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at?
A wedding dress that I screenshotted a year ago.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. And this is what I sent to you 2 years ago. It's Castro 3 years ago.
Is it 3 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah, she is.
So yeah, we are excited. We are excited.
Yeah.
About getting. We met our wedding photographer this week.
Well, you met. He's my friend.
Yeah,
you met him.
but we still met him in like
We
the
met up with
capacity
him
of a wedding
yeah.
photographer, where we discussed the images that we want,
Yeah.
the style,
Mm-hmm.
and the approach that we want him to take, and things like that. So that was interesting, and I've ordered. I have ordered. So we're gonna sort of like go big on the big wedding next summer.
Yes.
But we still kind of wanted this one to be special because this is our official wedding. Like, we'll be officially married.
Mm-hmm.
So I ordered my wedding dress the other day.
Well, many.
Okay, I ordered 5 wedding dresses. So, and then spent a fortune, and then I'm gonna have to like. I've just decided I'm just gonna send back the ones that I don't like and deal with it that way because it's fucking lockdown. What am I supposed to do? I can't. Like,
go into a shop and
yeah, no, it's not like, because I have a really stupid body shape.
You have gorgeous body shape.
Well, I have, like, my boobs don't fit in anything because they're huge.
Oh no.
Shut up, you. And then
Oh no.
I've got a massive arse and thighs.
Oh no.
Shut up. And then like
Not a great what?
So yeah, I'm a funny shape, so like nothing really sits on me correctly at all. And then I've got a little waist that I don't know how that happened, because that makes no sense with the amount of dairy milk I eat. So, but yeah, nothing really fits. So I could do really with a dress fitting, but fuck, like that, none of that shit's open.
It's just sort of in the back of my head at the moment.
I know,
I'm just
you're.
sort of like.
I don't know
like,
what
don't
you think.
Don't think about it.
What, getting a dress?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to give in and get something to wear at some point, even if it's not, you know, a dress or whatever.
I do want to wear a dress, but I want to, you know.
I wanted a jumpsuit, a bridal jumpsuit, and we follow loads of lesbian wedding accounts on Instagram that we fucking love. And oh my god, the lesbian weddings with the fucking jumpsuits are so cool. I really love them. I much prefer them over a dress. So I decided to buy originally a bridal jumpsuit, and I was super excited. What? Why are you laughing?
Finish the story and I'll tell.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I that's what I decided to buy. And then I've really, really struggled to find, I don't know, a nice one, or one that I would actually, or one that will get here in time. Because, interestingly, it's not very common in the UK. So there's not a lot of outlets that sell bridal jumpsuits. So it was really difficult to get hold of one. So I then gave up and thought, right, what if I was to get, you know, a dress that I felt comfy in, that was not dissimilar to the types of jumpsuits that I was interested in. So I've done that. And they are, I think, yeah, so the wedding dresses are being delivered here for me to try on and stuff in the maybe the 9th of April.
Yeah, and one of is the, you know, the walk-in wardrobe.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that you've tried on, you take sending them back.
That was, yeah.
You know, when I gave Castra a bath.
Yeah.
And you know why I gave her a bath?
Yes.
Just explain to the clitorati why I gave her a bath.
Because she had What the fuck have you done?
Just tell them. Just tell them.
Oh my god. Jamie gave Castro a bath because she had a dry... because she had dry lumps of shit stuck to her. And we we only noticed afterwards that it dried into her fur around her bum and she needed a proper decent bath. So can you explain to me what this has to do, Jamie, with the bridal jumpsuit in the walk-in wardrobe that needs to be sent back because it was too big? What has Castro's shitty bum got to do with that fucking jumpsuit? Why have you not told me? You bathed her like a week ago.
Because I sorted it.
Sorted? Oh my god. What do you mean sorted it?
So I couldn't get it off in the bath.
Right.
I couldn't get the shit off, and I was like, right, I'll just, like, it's fine, I'll just clean her up and I'll just cut it out.
Yeah.
Like I usually do. Anyway, got into the walk-in wardrobe where the hairdryer was where I was going to dry it, and you know when dogs are wet and they shake?
Yeah.
It flinged off.
What, the poo?
A massive piece of dried, wet shit. I was like, oh my god, what do I do with this? And I put it in the bag.
No, you did not. You put it in the bag and it's got the jumpsuit in it that I've got to return.
And then I was like, oh, then it's just Jess just shoving stuff in there that she doesn't need anymore. And then a couple of days later, I was like, I think that's the stuff
A couple of days later, did you just say?
I was like, no, that's stuff that she's trying to take back. So I took this piece of shit out and went and flushed it down the toilet.
So have you checked in the bag?
Yeah, it's fine.
Are you sure? I've got to return that tomorrow.
It was on top. It was on the top.
Oh,
it was on the top. Honestly, it's fine. But yeah.
Right, so
honestly,
in 1
the best
week...
debrief ever.
So in 1 week, Carlo has shit on me on the bed on Mother's Day or whatever, and you and Castro have managed to get shit in a fucking jumpsuit that I ordered that I've got to return.
Not just any jumpsuit, a bridal jumpsuit. But yeah, but I took it out, and it was like buried beneath like layers of plastic and stuff, so I didn't touch it or anything. I just realised a couple of days later that wasn't a rubbish bag.
Oh my god. Hang on a minute, does that mean that if it was a rubbish bag that you just put dog shit in the walk-in wardrobe in a bag and just fucking left it there?
It was just a piece.
It's still
that
shit.
I was going to take out.
Oh my shitting god.
I'm sorry.
That's so bad. That's so fucking gross.
Yeah, so like I hope that you've enjoyed this debrief and the previous episode. Feel free to tweet us.
But not about that, thanks. Or the fact that I've been shit on twice.
Next, innit?
It wasn't next, was it?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. But thanks for that, babe.
That's alright.
I've just realised that it wasn't next. So.
Okay.
I can't believe you just told me that on the podcast. What the fuck?
Hopefully everybody will enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everyone else will enjoy it. Except me, obviously. Who keeps getting shit on. Oh, right. I think we should go. And I hope, Jamie's right. I hope that this helped. Debriefs are always useful.
Yeah.
And if you speak to anybody that's listened to part 1 but not this part, you should get them to listen to this part and come down off it, really.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Look after yourselves and we will come back to you soon. We've got a couple of episodes coming up, haven't we, about some topics that we want to talk about. 2 really interesting ones that we think we're going to cover. So we should say bye. We never get to usually say bye.
Yeah.
Because we're so fucking rushed.
Yeah. But thank you to
it.
the 26,000 downloads.
26,000 downloads is just amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much, all of you.
And thank you for everybody who listens to us waffle. I honestly feel like you know more about our lives.
I wish you guys could all be our friends and like come to a massive party. Clitorati party.
A clitter
Clitter party.
Right, we better go.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
See you later.